There was a recent study that increased consumption of sugary drinks may affect the age at which a young woman begins her menstruation, a menarche. And we know that that study basically found that the average age decreased by as much as 6 to 12 months, that those young women were at risk of earlier menstruation, and not that that is a bad thing on the surface. However, we know that the earlier menarche and the longer menopause, the longer years that you will ovulate, may increase your risk of ovarian cancer because of the trauma to the ovary that happens each month with ovulation. We also know that we don't want our young girls having menstruation at an earlier age than they are physiologically supposed to have menstruation, because that may increase their estrogen level, which may increase their long-term risk of breast cancer. And there are several other risks associated with consumption of sugary drinks, as if we need another reason not to have our young girls and boys drinking a whole lot of sugary drinks, because it's just not good for them nutritionally. It's not good for their growth. It's not good for their body mass index. It leads to increased fat. Our population is growing literally, and we know that the incidence of diabetes and carbohydrate intolerance is on the rise to an epidemic level. Well, in general, menarche happens approximately at age 12, 12.1, and that's the average age in the country. That has steadily declined. It used to be approximately 3-4 decades ago. It was closer to 13. Nowadays, we're seeing young girls as early as 9 getting their periods, and the average age is still about 12.1, but it's starting to go down a little bit, dipping under 12. Young girls should be counseled about their bodies as early as they're able to understand language. Young girls could benefit tremendously from being more comfortable with their bodies, and young boys also, actually. The conversations about physical health and natural changes that occur with growth really, I believe, should begin as early as a child has language, using words that the child will understand. And if it becomes part of the conversation, part of the natural conversation about body functions with a parent, with a trusted aunt, for example, for the young girls, someone that the young girl can speak to. Generally, it's the mom, hopefully. And that way, a young girl becomes comfortable with her body, to begin to talk about this from a very early age, so that when a period occurs, that this is not a surprise, it's not a shock, it's very organic and very accepted, and nothing that's scary or off-putting, but something that's organic and understood as part of the natural course of growing up. I believe that most young girls probably benefit from a pretty good relationship with their mothers and get some good counseling regarding their bodies, menstruation, hormonal changes, and later on contraception, and basically how to be as healthy as possible as a young woman in our society. This includes proper body image and confidence and being empowered with the information that will allow a young woman to make good, healthy choices for herself. Because eventually, one day, most of these young girls will be moms, and we want them to counsel their daughters appropriately and in a way that will help their daughters be healthy. I believe that we can always do better. We can always do better educating our young girls and boys in terms of their bodies and their health. The proof of that is the health of our societies, our families, and our communities. And we know that there are many health problems that are on the rise, including carbohydrate intolerance and diabetes. It's very, very important to address exercise and weight early on. We don't want our young girls dieting from a very early age. We don't want them consuming sugary drinks and things that may be unhealthy. We don't want them smoking. We don't want them consuming substances or alcohol. These are very, very important conversations. So judging by the health of our teens and our young adults, we know that we could do a better job. We can do a better job through using multimedia presentations. We have the internet, which we can use together with our children to show them some sites and some resources that they can use to look up on their own. We can use graphics, we can use video, PowerPoint. We have so much at our fingertips now that we can use to help bring the message home that if the healthier you are, the happier a life you will have. I think Aristotle said it very, very well. Health and happiness go together, and happiness is the exercise of vital powers along lines of excellence to have a life of scope, and that is the secret, I believe. Health and happiness goes together. The healthier our children are, the happier they will be, and quite frankly, the more relieved and happy we will be.